Last week we talked about Juneteenth, and we wanted to know from you how you celebrated this anniversary. I'll say this anniversary. Did you talk about it with your friends? Did you talk about it with your family? Did you shop Black-owned businesses? Did you do research? We would love to hear from you at the BSU email, what you found and what you did and what your experience was. And before we jump into this week's topic, I would love to hear from both of you, actually. What did you do for Juneteenth?
What did I do for Juneteenth? Usually I participate in the Juneteenth celebration that African Heritage Inc. has down in Appleton. This year I participated in their virtual Juneteenth celebration, which was really interesting. It was a lot of fun, a lot of information that was taken in, and a lot of people from around the United States that participated in different speakers. So that was great. I had intentions so I did support a Black-owned business on Juneteenth. I bought a t-shirt from a Black-owned business. I wanted to go get coffee at this Black-owned restaurant down in Milwaukee because I was down there visiting family, but the Black-owned coffee shop was closed on Juneteenth to almost like a day of remembrance, if I'm using the right words. And I was a little bit upset because I wanted coffee from that particular place, but I understand why they were closed to, give their respects and things of that nature. So I did make it my duty to go the next morning, which my brother and I and some family, we did go and support them the next day. So that's kind of how I spent my Juneteenth. And after the Juneteenth celebration virtually, I just hung out with family and we just talked about Juneteenth. How did we all find out about it and things like that? So it was a nice day. It was definitely a really good day.
Oh, that's awesome. I was also on that Zoom call for the virtual Juneteenth. They had some really great speakers, really great information. I was really, really enjoying it. We just had it playing in the house, so everybody can hear it all the way on max at 100 of 100. But it was really good, and much like Tori, to support Black local businesses, we like to pick up some soul food for Juneteenth, or support. It may not necessarily be soul food, but definitely to support. So we actually ordered jerk joint. Mm-hmm. We ordered jerk joint, and we didn't just order just like one meal. We got desserts, we got appetizers, and all the jazz. Just to kind of rack up our bill, just to really truly give us support and help them out as much as possible. So yeah, it was a good day.
How about you, Keira?
On Juneteenth, pretty much rested all day. But the next day I had a Zoom call with my family, with my Black side of my family. And we did screen sharing and pulled up Ancestry.com and just like all of this family all the way back to like the 1800s, the 1700s.
Oh.
Yeah, there were people on the call that I had actually never met before, but were like in my family. And so that was really, really cool. And I felt it was just like a really good way to imagine this, like spending time together, virtually together for this holiday, because slavery separated us in ways that I think we're still feeling now, and to see how far back it's possible to trace us. And not just us, but like my specific family felt really, really special and fitting for that day, that anniversary. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Thank you for sharing. That is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I want to go back to what you were saying, Dennetra, actually to what both of you were saying about supporting Black businesses and keeping our money circulating in our community. That's something that I think in the Black community we struggle with in ways that are pretty unique to our community. Tori, you were saying something about that.
Yes, about Well, one, like we said, Dennetra, you said it, and Keira, you just brought it up, just supporting Black-owned businesses. I know I was listening to a podcast a while back. I would have to find the information for it, but I remember what they said in there about the Black dollar and how other dollars look in different communities. So, for example, looking at my notes here, it was said in the podcast that in the Asian community, the dollar circulates for about 28 days. In the Jewish community, for nearly 20 days. In the white community, for about 17 days. The Latinx community for about 7 days. And then you get down to the Black community, where our dollar stays within the community for about 6 hours. Not days, hours. So that's very interesting. And I always have that in my mind to go out and support Black-owned businesses. And I usually hear about different Black-owned businesses from, again, different podcasts that I'm listening to, or family and friends who may have shopped with some Black-owned businesses. So like this shirt I have on, it says Black by popular demand. I got this from a Black-owned website. So it's like once you shop with this website and others, they send you like updates to your email, like, hey, we have this sale going on, or we're introducing this new t-shirt. So I always, at least a few times throughout the month, I try to spend my money with Black-owned businesses, because I'm just thinking, how is this going to benefit our community? And this one Black-owned business I love to support is called Support Black Colleges. And they're all of the people who make up this organization. I don't know if it's all of them, but some of them graduated from historically Black colleges and universities, and they wanted to create something that they can give money back to students who go to historically Black colleges and universities. So I always try to buy from them, because I know it's gonna go back to the students and just help like the next generation coming. So saying all this to say, support Black-owned businesses as much as possible. And it's not to say stop going to everybody else and just go to this one person, but let's be a little bit more intentional about spending our Black dollars within our Black communities to build up our communities and to just help our people. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Absolutely. I know that some specific times that I definitely try to do that. If anyone knows me personally, they know that I'm a huge supporter of my community and supporting people who are trying to do things in my community. So I know I've been known to buy stuff that I didn't even need just because Black hands made it and Black hands gonna benefit. I have been known to do that. But specifically like Black History Month and Juneteenth, Odunde, Kwanzaa, I really try to only dine at Black restaurants. I mean, locally we have here in Appleton, Wilder's, Cozy Corner, Jerk Joint, and Miss Brown's. Off the top of my head, if there's been any new ones added, please write in, let us know, at BSU, at BG Club, foxgatvalley.org. Let us know if I missed one. Or if you're a Black-owned business and you're watching restaurant. If you're a Black-owned restaurant and you're watching and I neglected to mention you, please let us know, because I definitely try to promote and encourage spend in your community. Keep your money in your own community whenever possible. And like Tori said, it's not to say don't go to Target when you need toilet paper, but definitely keep our money circulating amongst ourselves. This problem that we have, I feel, with the numbers that Tori provided, the 6 hours, because we don't own anything. We don't own enough stuff to keep our money in our own community. And then when we do own stuff, a couple of weeks ago, I kept hearing the phrase, Black folks think white people's ice colder. When we do own stuff, some people become hesitant to shop there or spend the money there. I'm the opposite. I'm more encouraged. I'll be more tolerant. I'm not gonna call out any Black-owned restaurants by name, but if I go to a Black-owned restaurant and I'm waiting for 87 minutes for my food, I'm not going to complain, but better know Chili better have my food there in 10 minutes. So, I do see when I'm with other people of color that they will be less tolerant of Black businesses, and it's like the expectation goes up or something. I don't know, but yeah, I do think it's important to keep our money in our community as well.
I read the phrase the other week, maybe the other day, that we are given a label or a stereotype of laziness, and that we've been given this label of stereotypes, or this label and stereotype of laziness ever since we stopped working for free. And that's something that I just try to keep in mind, that like we are all taught to like embrace, not to embrace, but to hold on to this stereotype, even within our community, to have these ridiculously high standards of perfection and immediate, like even like fast food speed in a sit down restaurant where stuff is literally cooked by hand, made to order. And I think keeping all of that in mind, and also it might be worth it for all of you watching to research what it takes to run a business and what it takes to run a restaurant. Because it's really not something that you just decide one day, I think that'll be fun, I'll start next week, and then it goes great. Like it's a lot of work. And so when we pay our own people to do their amazing work, be that restaurants or other like clothing, skincare and hair care are probably my favorite things to do when I'm shopping Black-owned businesses, is skincare and hair care. But there's actual like real labor and love that goes into that. And so I would encourage all of you to look up what it takes to do that yourself, especially at a small business level, because those are the people who need our dollars the most.
I would definitely say those are all good points, Keira, to take it a step further, even if it's not spending money in the Black community, but supporting Black businesses. So thinking of the different organizations in an area that puts on different celebrations, like African Heritage Incorporated, most of the things that are put on are free to the community. So even going out to support, to just show face, you know, that always goes a lot further than what any of us, can imagine. So keeping that in mind, too, is definitely a good thing. And I wanted to add the restaurant in Milwaukee, in case anyone is wondering, is called Manhattan Mocha. And they have a lot of different kinds of coffee, smoothies, breakfast sandwiches, even teas. My brother was drinking a turmeric tea, if I'm saying it right. Yeah, so he was real excited about it. He was like, smell this. And I was like, But he said it tasted amazing. I didn't taste it because I had a coffee that I, wanted to drink, and it tasted really good. So I was really happy to, go there and support them for the second time. So, try to support with money. And if you can't, there's a lot of other ways to support Black-owned businesses, to tell a friend about one, to go to a event that a Black-owned organization or business is having, just to show your support. Because oftentimes, and not to speak for everyone, but oftentimes we have been taught that we've been made to believe that we can't do a certain thing. So it means so much more when we have people there supporting each other and supporting us. So just keep that in mind when you want to go buy a t-shirt. Maybe buy one from a Black-owned business. If you want some food, maybe go to Cozy Corner. So,
one thing that you can do, because I know that a lot of you are teens and you might not have just like money to shell out, but YouTube streams and Spotify streams, Apple Music,
yes.
Just like if you want, especially if you're looking for mood music and not like a specific album, just really like see if you can't support Black artists and creators and storytellers, and get into more Black art and like online content, because it is there and it's amazing. And I would love to hear from you, if you do this, what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you are really loving, and then we can all know, we can all enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing too, Tori and I mentioned about doing the virtual Juneteenth. While it was phenomenal and super informational, I was super disappointed. Not that I would have attended in a pandemic, but I was disappointed that there is a pandemic that would have allowed me to attend. Juneteenth this year, because I look forward to Juneteenth so I can get Black products. Keira mentioned Black hair products. Because we all know, if anybody remember being little girls, it's hard to find them knockers. I don't even know if that's the real word for them, the knockers. But you know what I'm talking about, the little balls that you put on in your hair.
Oh yes.
What you say, hair balls? What you
I
say?
heard hair balls. I heard bobos, barrettes. Yeah.
I heard bobos, but the little knockers. That's what I call them, not because they knock. Anyway, but I look forward to Juneteenth to getting stuff like that and various different, like Keira mentioned earlier, hair products, because we know it's difficult to find out here. But use those opportunities to definitely support. Come up on what you need to, but support. Does anyone have any other last thoughts before we say goodbye?
No. Except for, we would love to hear if you know of any other Black-owned businesses, wherever it is. Feel free to email us at the BSU email. Yeah, that's about it. And thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yes. See you next week for BSU. BSU.
Dennetra, their dance moves. Love it. See ya.
Bye, y'all.